Hello everyone, intuitive and astrologer Lisa Salvatore here with a quick reading on the Capricorn full moon. Today that I'm recording this video, it is July 9th. The full moon peaks July 10th, 4:37 p.m. Eastern time. Adjust for your time zone accordingly. Full moon energy is at its height, at its peak, the 3 days leading up to the full moon and then the 3 days after the full moon. I am getting this out a little bit late. I realized by recording my first half of July, which is linked in the description box below, and then I went and recorded the second half of July, which will be posted shortly. But in the midst of that, I never recorded anything about the Capricorn full moon, at least not here on YouTube. For my members, for my subscribers, you will have the guided meditation and the special ritual for this full moon that will be in your members area, which will go out in the newsletter shortly. If you'd like to know more about that, the link to my Substack membership is linked in the description box below. I also have a YouTube membership that gives you access to recordings, and I'll have all the information on that at the end of this video if you're interested. So let's get right into it. The Capricorn full moon taking place July 10th, 4:37 p.m. Eastern time at 18 degrees of Capricorn. The first thing we have to note is that full moons in general are always a time of heightened awareness, heightened intuition, heightened emotions, heightened energies. Just ask anybody that works in a hospital, that works in the medical field, law enforcement. Everything gets pulled up to the surface under full moons. Everything swells, including, depending on what's going on with the astrology, our own physical bodies. The sun is currently in the sign of homey, sensitive Cancer. So we are still in all the feels. We are in the season where we are feeling the feels, where family and family dynamics and relationship dynamics and emotions are all at the forefront. We're cleansing and clearing out the clutter, mind, body, spirit, toxicity on all fronts. We are all becoming much more aware of what needs to be released from our realities to make way for the new, to make way for that which we desire to take form. Now, the moon in and of itself in the sign of Capricorn is not at the height of its power. The moon in Capricorn is what we call to be in its detriment. Remember, the moon in the sign of Cancer is in its domicile, the height of its power. So the opposite sign of Capricorn puts the moon in not its favorite place, more difficult, more challenging. That doesn't mean bad. Every aspect, every placement has its place. This particular full moon in Capricorn is illuminating what needs to be released so that we can rise. The sign of Capricorn is ruled by the planet Saturn, which is all about structure and order and discipline and also boundaries. And it reminds us that if we want it bad enough, we will do the work. And if we do the work, we will build. It will come. It's a sign of achievement. Saturn is also about to station retrograde right at the heels of this full moon, which makes it that much more powerful and that much more illuminating about where we need to revise, reset, reboot. This is a full moon centered around maturity, accountability, and deep emotional wisdom. Where have we been too rigid? And where might we have lacked structure altogether? This will all be coming up under this full moon. This lunation is calling us inward to realign our commitments to ourselves, to our work, to our relationships, to our purpose, and yes, to our boundaries. Good old Saturn. Let's go ahead and pull up the chart and then we will go through the signs real quick. Here's the chart for the Capricorn full moon. Again, July 10th, 4:37 p.m. Eastern time. Set for your time zone accordingly. The strongest aspect we have to this full moon is that we've got Mars at 13 degrees of Virgo here in a trine to the full moon. This is supportive. This is a good energy of ease and flow, and it reminds us of our passion, and then our passion with a purpose, because Mars in Virgo is very strategic and very focused and fixated on the outcome, the structure, the order, which bodes very well with this energy as the sign of Capricorn that this full moon falls under is governed by the planet Saturn. Saturn's over here at 1 degree of Aries, aligned with Neptune, and Saturn will station retrograde July 13th, just a few short days after this full moon, which really emphasizes and drives home the point that we're going to be pulling inward to reflect on the old storylines, reflect on the prior commitments, and ask ourselves, is this still aligned with the version of self that I want to become, the version of self that I am becoming? A few more things and I'll get right back to the chart. The tarot cards associated with Capricorn and this full moon in particular, because this full moon falls in the second decan of Capricorn, which is the second third of the sign of Capricorn, since this full moon falls at 18 degrees. And the tarot card associated with this decan of Capricorn is the Three of Pentacles. And the Three of Pentacles reminds us that it sometimes takes a village to build what it is that we want to build. We cannot do everything on our own, and teamwork is the dream work. So we may have to really ask ourselves where we might be limiting ourselves from moving forward by trying too hard to be the only one or to do it all by ourselves. Again, this is a Saturn-ruled full moon, which does bring with it a sense of responsibility. But we really have to ask ourselves, where may I be actually limiting myself by not opening myself up to the benefit of working with others, to opening up my heart to more community, to more connection. Threes are a sign of community, building something together. We've got pentacles here, the Three of Pentacles, building something that is meant to last, building a structure, whether that be an actual literal structure or a relationship or a team, something along those lines. But we are building something that is built to last, and that will take time. A very strong reminder when we're dealing with anything involving the sign of Capricorn, the planet Saturn, good things take time. And where and what and how are we willing to put the effort and our time and our energy into it to achieve the result that we desire? Teamwork is the dream work. Now, the major arcana tarot card associated with Capricorn is the Devil. The Devil reminds us that we can feel bound and stuck and placed somewhere, and we know that it isn't right for us any longer. We know that it isn't good for us, yet it's really challenging and it has this powerful hold on us, and it feels like, or it seems like, we cannot get out of it. We cannot let go of it. The Devil reminds us that, yes, karma is very real. Saturn's all about karma. What goes around comes around. What we reap is what we shall sow. We create our own reality by our thoughts, by our movements, by our actions, by our energies. Yes, fate is very real, but so is free will. If you note the images on the card, which are Adam and Eve bound to each other by a chain, the chains are loose enough that they can break free, but the devil has a hold on them. And the devil can be a substance. It can be another person. It can be an institution. It can take on many different variations, and for everyone it's going to feel different. But the devil is not necessarily healthy for us long term. And releasing and letting go and recognizing where we have the power to do so and what we might need to do to let go is also very pronounced around this full moon. It's being illuminated, it's being highlighted, what is no longer working for us as is. And also where we may need to enlist the help of others, the Three of Pentacles, to achieve our desired outcome or a more desirable outcome. This full moon supports honest conversations, the clearing of emotions, the opening of the throat chakra. Speak your truth. Speak it calmly. Speak it confidently. The gemstone I have chosen for this particular full moon is Larimar, but blue lace agate will work, labradorite will work, amethyst. I just prefer Larimar for this full moon. Now back to the chart. So the full moon is supported by the planet Mars, action, energy, drive. Where are we willing to put the work? Let's make a plan. Let's get down to business. You see, we've got the sun over here in opposition to the moon. Obviously, that is how we have a full moon. We've got Mars at 13 in a nice trine to the moon. We've got Mars in a sextile to the sun. We've got the sun in a trine to the north node in Pisces, supporting our visions, our dreams, our destiny, pulling us more into the intuition, to our divine connection with self and with source, trusting the inner knowing, trusting our soul. The north node is in a sextile to the moon. This forms what we call a mystic rectangle. So sure, the sun and the moon are in opposition, of course, because it's a full moon, but around that, the mystic rectangle here containing this full moon are these energies of support, energies of love, energies of connection, energies of intuition. Be open to the synchronicities that surround you. Be open to asking for signs from spirit and receiving them. And more importantly, be open to trusting them. This particular full moon in Capricorn is asking us to not only open our eyes, but more specifically to open our hearts. Forgiveness is a key word. Having grace and compassion for ourselves and for others especially is very strong right now. The clearing of old storylines, especially where it comes to the family and family dynamics, very strong right now. Clearing ancestral karma. Think about your life right now. Think about your personal life. Think about your emotional world. What habits and patterns and behaviors are you carrying with you that are lingering and stemming, especially from the past, even from past lives? Go deep into that wisdom. There's medicine there. This is about breaking through those old paradigms, those old storylines that are just not serving you emotionally, especially, which then contributes to the physical. It's about getting real with self and being honest with self, not spiritual bypassing or gaslighting what's really happening, but recognizing it and moving forth with compassion and peace and love, regardless of the outcome. Again, it's about having grace. Times are tough right now for everybody, and it won't hurt us to go a little bit easier. There's so much to find. There's so much to be revealed when we just tap in, tune in, and listen to our soul. Get near the water around this full moon. Listen to the sounds of it. It will be very cleansing and very powerful. Uranus now at 0 degrees of Gemini. A whole new world. There's a video linked in the description box below about that. We've got Venus here in Gemini, moving away from Uranus, but it is still supporting doing new and unconventional ways of relating to the old. Unexpected meetings and conversations can crop up around this full moon, leading to a new direction, a new pathway opening up. Remain open-minded. You never know. I think I mentioned this, but part of that mystic rectangle here is Pluto also sextiling the Saturn-Neptune alignment. Again, supporting our vision with that container of Saturn, that energy of the structure. It's grounded dreaming put into practical action. We have fixed star Wasat opposite this full moon. Wasat is actually in the constellation of Gemini, in the northern twin. The name Wasat comes from the Arabic al-Wasat, which means the middle. So this star joins the twins of Gemini in the middle. And this star is very much linked to and associated with partnership and compromise, which brings us back to the Three of Pentacles, right? But also potential separation. We also have to remember that 3 is a crowd sometimes. So the support of this fixed star present with this full moon can, yes, absolutely help us to build bridges and form alliances, and it can lead to peace. It really can. But it can also go the opposite way because remember, Gemini is the twins, duality, two sides. So just like we can build bridges here, we can also burn them. So we have to choose wisely. And this star also carries with it a strong energy of Saturn, which aligns perfectly with this full moon in Capricorn, as Saturn's also about to station retrograde. It can kind of make things feel a little bit more weighty, like every decision, every energy, everything happening right now has more weight to it. And I think we can all agree with that. And side note, the shadow side of this is that it can bring in a heavy energy of pessimism. So we have to be conscious of that we don't go down to the negative side, just assuming or thinking it's not going to work out, even without trying. This could be even more prevalent, by the way, if you are somebody who has anything between 18 and 20 degrees of Cancer in your chart. So you may want to check that out. That may be an area where you can tend toward more of that pessimistic energy. Positively speaking, though, when we speak with a clear voice, when we speak with authority, when we're confident in our message, the results are usually quite nice. This full moon is also aligned with fixed star Sheelak. I love this fixed star. It's in the constellation of Lyra, the harp. The mythology of Sheelak is really cool. Sheelak is translated to tortoise. The origin of the instrument associated with Lyra is the harp. The harp is associated with this constellation. Mythology goes, Hermes found the empty shell of a tortoise cast upon the shore of the Nile River. And Hermes took the tendons, the dried up tendons, known as sinews, and made it into a string musical instrument, a harp. So Sheelak, I always find Sheelak to carry a positive connotation with it because it does speak to, at a deeper level, music and making beautiful music out of something that we might not otherwise think to use, to utilize. And Sheelak has the properties of both Venus and Mercury. Very focused on communication, very focused on connection, and very focused on building. So you see the themes around this full moon? We are the co-creators of our destiny. We are the co-creators of our healing. And one more, this full moon is in opposition to asteroid Hera. And Hera is obviously aligned with the sun. Hera, the Greek goddess that symbolizes marriage and childbirth, but also relationships and relationship dynamics, particularly around maybe jealousy and or envy. It also talks about the context of our commitments and where we may have feel betrayed or where we may have been the betrayer. Hera can absolutely show us. And by the way, if you want to plug her in your birth chart, it's asteroid number 103. It's cool to see where she lands in your chart. But Hera can give us a lot of insight into our own approach to marriage, relationships in general, commitments in general, and also how we experience betrayal, how we deal with it, how we handle it. It can definitely also highlight our fears of abandonment. Hera is also amazing when you're looking into your family history and ancestral connections, which, by the way, right now under Cancer season, that is so strong and particularly heightened around this full moon. This is all about how our family lineage influences our lives today. This also talks about our own unconscious patterns and inherited wounds that we hold and that we have. And on a higher scale, it's about breaking free from that which binds us, the devil, breaking free from limitations. Positively speaking, it can also bring a lot of focus onto those deep connections and soulful relationships in our lives, or that which we wish to cultivate, or where we may hold ourselves back from this. Very strong energy around karmic connections, past life connections, past life lessons, repetitive patterns that bring forth opportunities to heal those past life wounds and this life's wounds, which typically do carry over and then help us to evolve on our journey here, evolve our souls. All of this to say that there is so much energy and power around this full moon about doing our soul work. We're going to be feeling it anyway. It's very emotional. We're recognizing where things need to change. We're willing to do the work. We're willing to make a plan. Hopefully. Now let's talk about where this full moon will fall for you by your rising sign. I always suggest you follow your rising sign for most accuracy. You can absolutely follow your sun sign and of course your moon sign if you know it. You can always pull up your birth chart for free right on my website, lisasalvatore.com. Aries, this full moon is going to illuminate your 10th house areas of life, which is all about your public roles, your face out in the world, how you represent yourself, how you do not. It's also going to pull a lot of focus onto the work-home life balance. And even if you don't have or hold a professional career or vocation, it doesn't matter. It's about your public life. It's about your personal life. It's about the dynamics between the two. It's about the balance. It's also about connecting to the heart space more and recognizing what it is that you want and letting go of what is not working for you. It's also about letting go of projects that are no longer supporting who you are today, relationships, etc. Taurus, this full moon is going to be shining its light onto your 9th house. This is the areas of our own evolution, our consciousness, our expansion, our belief systems, which are probably shifting and shaping rapidly as we speak, which is challenging for Taurus. Taurus doesn't love change, but you're going to feel challenged to change the way that you think and perceive, and also receive information, thoughts. It could also be a time where you're recognizing that those long-term projects or goals that you've had your eyes on might just not be the best for you, and we need to let go to grow and let in the new. Gemini, this full moon is illuminating your 8th house, which is going to talk all about the most intimate sides and parts of self and of your life. You may be recognizing where you're very emotional or not emotional enough, what and whom you're the most connected to, and is this psychologically and spiritually supporting you. Deep, buried emotions can be coming up to the surface and it might make you uncomfortable, but it's important that you sift through it or it will come back around. What hurts can also be very medicinal. Cancer, this is going to pull a lot of focus onto all of the commitments and connections in your life as this full moon is lighting up your 7th house of the others. All commitments, all connections, all partnerships. You're going to be asking yourself, you're going to be doing a lot of soul work around, is this potentially good for me? Is this still good for me? Is this still right for me? Do I really genuinely want to be here? Do I trust this? Do I trust this person? Do I trust this project? Do I feel that I have the support that I need? Am I honoring myself? All questions coming up around this full moon, and it will likely be very evident where you need to let go. Leo, this full moon is illuminating your 6th house of your daily habits and commitments, the way that you serve out in the world or do not. It's about working on the habits that support your soul, that support your system, and doing away with those that do not. It's about taking care of your health, mind, body, spirit. So a lot will likely be coming up to the surface for you that's going to show you or going to reinforce what needs to go to better support you moving forward. Virgo, this full moon is illuminating your 5th house of projects and creative energy, fun, joy, love, your hobbies, your recreational activities, also anything having to do with children, any children in your life, whether they're children of your own, children connected to you, or like I always say, your own inner child. How do you find joy? How do you fill your days with joy? Do you have enough of that? This full moon will illuminate these areas of life for you. Libra, this full moon can feel very personal for you as it's illuminating your 4th house of emotions, emotional foundation, family dynamics, all that I said during the reading in regards to the lineage, ancestral karma, family dynamics. That's really strong for you right now. You may find yourself more emotional than usual and much more connected to your roots and to figuring things out and to deconstructing patterns that are just not serving you. So this full moon will also be illuminating anything having to do with your personal life, your emotions, your home life. Could even literally be about your home, the place that you live, and the work and home life balance. Scorpio, this full moon is illuminating the area of your life, of your chart, all about expression and communication. It's the third house. This is where we speak our truth. This is where we represent ourselves. Use that Larimar stone for the throat chakra. Compassion and kindness go a really long way, but it's very important to be honest. This full moon is highlighting where we need to let go with grace. And for you, this might have something to do with a very close family member, a sibling, a cousin, a colleague even. It's going to focus on community and connection and where you need to let go and speak your truth. Sagittarius, this full moon is illuminating your second house of finances, of worth, of value, of what you have. Also relationships, relationship to all of these areas, relationship to self. Where might we need to do a little refresh? That's going to be very illuminated for you under this full moon. Capricorn, this is your full moon. It's illuminating the house of self, the first house, your very essence, your very core, your being, all of it. How are you out in the world? What are you doing on the everyday? What do you need to let go of to better support who you are today and who you wish to become, who you are becoming? It's a very powerful full moon for you. Use it for a nice cleanse. It's also going to pull a lot of focus onto your relationships, especially those relationships, those commitments, those connections. They're not really serving who you are today. It's about letting go with grace and love and allowing the new to take form without judgment and without trying to control it. Aquarius, this full moon is illuminating an area of your chart and of your life that likes to stay not lit up, which is the 12th house. You can find yourself feeling a little bit isolated around this full moon, but you're probably going to feel even more comfortable that way. This is the time for deep psychological and soul searching and digging, untangling past patterns that are not serving you, maybe even enlisting in a new form of therapy to support your system, cultivating a strong or stronger spiritual practice. That's all going to be highlighted for you under this full moon, and letting go of those that do not serve. All of those practices, all of those energies that just aren't serving you. Recognizing where you may have been your own self-saboteur. It's time to release that. Last but certainly not least are Pisces. This full moon is going to be lighting up your 11th house of friendships, networking, group dynamics, any groups that you're a part of, even digital and online groups that factors into this. It's also going to shine a light onto your deepest desires, your hopes, your dreams, your wishes, your aspirations, and being very conscious of where you need to let go of what is not serving you, what is holding you down like an anchor. Where do you need to release so that you can move forward in your truth? That might mean letting go of a friendship that you thought you would never say goodbye to, or maybe even just putting it in a different category. There's a level of acceptance around this full moon for you. I feel like for Pisces, the area that's going to be the most strongly highlighted is the areas around friendship and the groups that you're a part of. Recognizing which ones are still supportive of who you are today, and which ones are not. And being able to let go with love. There you have it, the Capricorn full moon, and through all 12 signs. I hope that this was helpful. Take really good care of yourself, support your system, get out into nature, ground, keep up with your water intake, keep up with your minerals. Uranus is now in Gemini, everything is speeding up. And I will be back real soon with the second half of July. And don't forget, the first half is linked in the description box below, as is the collective Uranus through Gemini energies. And I'll be back with another video on Uranus and Gemini through the signs. Take care. Hello, everyone. Warm wishes for a happy and healthy 2025. I am so excited to be here with all of you, all of my beautiful subscribers, and to continue to put out supportive content. I will continue to give you astrological and intuitive updates. My channel will not be changing. I will be doing new moon and full moon readings, along with some insights through the signs, monthly astrological and energetic updates, astrology updates overall, and some more how-to videos, readings on current events, etc. None of that will change. That will all still be here on my channel, but I am excited to roll out a few new options for 2025. Here on YouTube, I now have a membership. That membership is $7.99 a month. You do not have to join the membership, but you can if you want to. And what that membership encompasses is obviously all of the general free content that is out there and will continue to be out there, but with more exclusive content. So every Sunday, I go live and I give the astrological and energetic forecast for the upcoming week. And we have some spiritual chit chat there. There's a live chat. Now that is going to be sent to you with the YouTube membership by recording. If you wanted to be a part of the live stream, I have another subscription, which is based on Substack, which is where I have my newsletter and where I am the most interactive. And that will also be linked in the description box below if you're interested in that. But the Substack membership is $10 a month, okay, to be transparent, or $100 per year. And every Sunday, I do go live and I give the astrological and energetic update and forecast. And it's, like I said, it's interactive and I answer questions. And then monthly, I do a live Zoom where I go into more details for each month, readings through the signs. And in those monthly lives, there's also the opportunity to be read, both astrologically and psychically, combination of the two. That is with my Substack subscription. That is with my newsletter subscription, to be clear. The YouTube subscription, the one that is $7.99 a month, you will get the recordings of everything that I do on my Substack newsletter. To join the YouTube subscription, all you have to do is go right to my homepage and just click join. And once again, thank you to all of my amazing subscribers. I'm so thankful and grateful to each and every one of you. I'm also grateful that I get to provide this content, and I really hope that it supports you on your spiritual journey.